Never mind Windows. But I think I'm just gonna start at least with some of the rather dry stuff.
Awesome. Take it away.
Yeah. So, yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna build an avatar for VRChat. And there's a couple of things that we're gonna just quickly look at first. This is one of their documentation sites, and it's specifically about avatar performance ranking. So Avatar has this performance ranking system, and that basically shows you how good or how bad an avatar is in terms of performing on VRChat. So this also basically guides a little bit how you are going to make your avatar, because here we have a couple of stats that are basically describing how many polygons you should use, how many textures, and all of that stuff, which is really good to have at hand when you want to make an avatar that performs kind of well. But that can also really vary. So if you're actually looking to create an avatar for a performance where there's only a few people or maybe only yourself in the room, you could maybe just make a poor avatar, but it looks amazing. But if you want to make an avatar where you want to go to events and in clubs and somewhere where you really don't want to pull down the overall performance, because also other people are going to have performance issues if you're going to walk into an event with like a very poor avatar. And so we're seeing here like a couple of polygon numbers. So you should always kind of be in this range and don't go over 70, I would say, because then you're marked immediately very poor, which is not good. And a couple of other things, as you see here, like as soon as you're over these 32, you're immediately like good, medium, or poor. And that depends on a couple of these other things like lights and particle systems and a couple of other cool stuff like dynamic bones and all that stuff that you can put on your avatar. And then there's quest limits, which are way lower. So it has to be under 20k polygons, and it doesn't have any of like dynamic bones or yeah, any of this other stuff. I actually only made one quest avatar, and we're not going to focus on quest today, but you have all the resources here to basically do that. It's just about optimization, and I have to admit that's not one of my favorite things. I rather like to experiment and then like use the PC avatars that just look way better than to optimize it for Quest. All right. So much to this. And I'm basically going to walk you through a couple of tools that I'm using to create avatars, and a couple of those tools that with those ones, it should really just take an hour to create that avatar. So you can, of course, dive way deeper into them, but we're just going to make something really fast that we can try to pull off in 1 hour. And what I came across again recently, which is actually not supported anymore, but it still works currently through Steam, is Adobe Views. And this is gonna also launch in my headset. Interesting. So what's happening here is like an arrow, but that doesn't matter. And then you can assemble an avatar. And so I'm just going to do this like very quick because we have a lot of other things to do. but you can basically just like pull together an avatar as like a basic mesh. I mean, you can also build your whole avatar in Adobe Fuse with like clothes and everything, but we're just gonna create like a basic mesh because I really like that you can put together a person, and you can then also go ahead and customize that person a bit. So in this case, I think she actually looks pretty okay. But what is really good, so if you have full body tracking, you can really adjust the length of the legs, which is really, really good for like bringing your own proportions onto the avatar, which you really need if you want to do something like full body tracking for an avatar. So that's really useful in here to generate that. And then you also have clothing, but this clothing is actually not that great. So what we're going to do, we're just going to export this one as it is. And we're just gonna call this MVC workshop. So I already did a test. It took me like half an hour or something to do it. So I hope we're gonna get through that all together. And feel free to ask questions, right? Like if something is like more interesting to you or you want to ask like any kind of questions, just let me know. And then we actually gonna export it again with those textures. Packed and higher size. Just like to have that as well, just in case like something goes wrong with those other textures or whatever. And you can use those avatars as well, like this, but it's actually not that great. Like it has a pretty high poly count by themselves, like how Fuse exports them. So they actually don't work too well in VRChat. They're most of the time already poor. And so now I'm gonna try to open. Yeah.
So what was the second export you just did now? I didn't follow that.
I just actually checked this one box here where it packs the textures. So you have them on one file extra.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
So I'm not just now gonna, and I'm gonna use Oculus Medium, which is one of the sculpting tools for VR, but I'm gonna use it through Revive, and I'm already apologizing for the jitters because I'm using it with the index controllers, and therefore the controllers are not mapped really well from the Oculus onto that. So, so I'm just gonna go here, and then I'm gonna have this file, and I can select that here, and I can add that as a mesh, and I'm gonna make 100% layer fill and split that into separate layers. That's good, so we can get rid of eyelashes and stuff that we don't want.
Batteries of what?
The keyboard.
Oh.
Does it keep telling you?
Yeah, so here she is.
Well,
All
since
right.
Just put pizza in there.
So now we can actually look at this, and I always get rid of the eyelashes.
Can
I'm
everyone mute?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave, won't you mute yourself there?
Oh,
Do you see everything that I'm doing? Is that all good? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yep,
Yeah,
we see it.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna add a new layer, and I'm also gonna switch on the mirror tool. I hope I didn't move her, but I don't think so. I'm not gonna go too deep into Oculus Medium, but there's a couple of things. Like I really like this clay shape, and I also like the mirror tool a lot. So I'm just basically gonna actually wanna I want to build her like this kind of dress. And you can just basically do that on another layer, and it doesn't matter if it intersects with the body. And I'm just going to do that really fast, obviously. And on one layer. All right. Yeah, that's a bit of a funny pants, but I guess you get the point. So you can basically make any kind of clothing in here, and then don't move. Okay. I think I got it back at the point where it should be, and so now I want to export it. And here I should see that. So you can like you can choose like a couple of these reductions already, like pre-reductions, and the 1% is around in that area that we want for VR chat, which is not more than 70. And like, yeah, somewhere in that area. I think this looks good to me. And then these settings, like texture size looks good as well, object space, PNG. So you can export it as OBJ or FBX, but I think I always export it as OBJ from here. But yeah, you can try around with that.
No, Ruth,
Yeah.
when you were cursing because you thought you had moved something accidentally, what were you concerned about?
So when you move, I moved the dress, as you probably saw it, a little bit. So I moved the dress because I marked the layer, and with the index controllers, it's like every time I just close my hand a little bit, it thinks that I'm gripping. And with gripping, you're moving individual layers. And so then the dress would have been like at the wrong point. But on the like thumbstick, there's like a back. Like if you go to the left, you go back. And so I was able to just reverse it. But I had it like a couple of times in like bigger projects, you know, when you take a layer and you move it somewhere else and you don't notice it immediately, and then everything else doesn't fit anymore. It's one of the most annoying things.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for the cursing, by the way.
No, more cursing.
No. Okay, so now it's decimating this geometry, and I can finally open Unity as well. So what? Can you still hear me? Okay, so I just actually made this project. It's in 2019.4.30 F1, which you need for VR chat. And the only thing I did so far was actually import Amplify, because it always takes a while and I really like it. So sorry, Amplify is this shader tool where you can do node-based shaders. So this one. And then what we're gonna do as a first thing here in Unity, we're gonna import the VRChat SDK, and that's in download. So this is like the VRC SDK3 avatars, and you also find that on the website. So here on like if you log into your account on that site, here this one, SDK3 avatars. And this one is also pretty good. This is like a documentation hub. There's also a lot of info about that stuff. So this is importing a little bit, and we can see if we have our export here. here. And this one, we now have this 3D model, and we just gonna put that into Mixamo. So this is Mixamo. Mixamo is an auto rigging tool, and it's really fast if you wanna like rig any kind of humanoid character. And so you can basically just open it and then take the 3D file and drop it in here. And yeah, so this actually used to work together with Fuse for a while, but it's not supported anymore, usually. And so here you can basically just like assemble these couple of points to auto rig that character.
How do you find the rigging with Mixamo? Because I've found when I've when I've made humanoid avatars, it always screws the fingers up.
Oh, really? I actually would say Mixamo is really good at finger rigging.
Huh.
Hmm.
Maybe it's my shonky design work. Ah, well, that's good to know.
Another subtlety is the direction of the elbows. Doing a T pose like this actually is bad for shoulders, but is as long as the elbows point back, Mixamo will do quite well. This is the way the root's got it organized.
Thank you.
So for VRChat, actually the Mixamo rigged avatars do really well, at least for me.
Yeah, I found the same. I find the fingers are pretty decent.
So
but-
elbows back and thumbs down.
Yeah, look, there's a whole argument about in film you don't do T-pose, you do a relaxed pose because the shoulder deformation, but it's just much, much easier the way that VRChat works to do it in this T-pose.
So she actually looks pretty good. And then you can download it just like this with FBX for Unity. Okay. Oh. Huh. Oh yeah. Good question. I don't know.
I believe it comes with 2 animation clips like this, so it will be in. It should have the default T-pose as one of the clips, and the other one will be the taunt. I believe. I may be wrong.
Yeah, that's correct. You can download it straight with the animation, but then you've got an animation file attached to that. But either way.
And if I have it in T-pose, isn't it also an animation file that's then attached to it? Okay, well, let's see. Can also download that one. So in Unity, I would then just like make a folder in the assets folder. And I would just call that my assets. And so I'm just gonna drop her in here. This is smaller, so I'm gonna take this one. And then I'm gonna drag her in here. And she actually already looks pretty good, I would say, so far. And we can unpack that prefab, and we see like here are the different, we have an empty layer. I can probably get rid of that. Oh. And here's our rig. That's basically what what moves her and what puts her in this T-pose now, etc. And so here we can put a VRC avatar descriptor. And there we have a couple of things. And I would say the most important one is actually this little gray ball. And it's a bit hard to actually look at, but it should be somewhere like really close to her eyes. Yeah, something like that maybe. Or yeah, this looks good. So like that, you will have a pretty good perspective when you
Is
wear
there a shortcut to finding the little grey block?
No, it's usually always around like 1.6, I think, by default meters.
Ah,
I'm not 100% sure though.
nobody else on the school knows. I guess there isn't a shortcut.
What I do is I use Pumpkin's avatar tools, which has a specific button to put them into an edit mode with a gnomon and allows it to be committed. So it's super good for that. But this is useful to know how it's done manually.
This is like in a prefabs.
Pumpkin avatar tools.
Yeah, no, they're amazing. They're
Yeah.
very useful for doing a lot of automated setup.
Is
Um,
gnome in the term for the little grey block? Sorry,
Is this
Ruth.
in
Yeah,
here?
gnomon is the term for a locator in a three-dimensional
Ah.
scene, XYZ axis.
Got it. All right. Thanks.
Pumpkin's avatar tools. There you go. Okay, well, I'm not using that actually. I never used that though.
It's the bomb. You'll love it.
You think so?
Yeah, no, it's so cool. It literally sets up your avatar in 2 clicks, and it just solves a lot of. It does it a copy. Look, it's literally there's nothing you won't know how to do. For Sophie, it's probably as fast, but someone who doesn't know anything, it is quite useful.
Okay, well, anyways, I'm just gonna continue with a couple of things I still want to do with this avatar. And one of them, which I find really important, is I'm also gonna open this for now, and I need to log in. Yay. So what I want to do is put some trails on the hands and feet of this avatar, because that's something I really like in VRChat. And here in the builder, you then see a couple of things. And it's actually very poor. So I should probably export that again. Not even sure why it's so huge. So you can really easily auto-fix a couple of those ones, but you cannot fix a lot. You cannot fix like the polygon count inside here. So that's actually not working. And I think this one's an animator for whatever reason. I'm not sure where it comes. Okay. So I think what we should. Oh, now it's actually not so bad anymore. Okay, that's weird. Well, okay. Huh. Nice if things fix themselves. So this avatar has to be a humanoid avatar, definitely. So this every time when you import it, that's a good thing to check if it's humanoid or not. All right. So I think this looks okay for now. I'm just going to continue with particles. And where you basically want to put those particles is inside the armature, so they actually stay at the place where you want them. For example, if you want a particle to be inside your hand, so you can just like go here, effects, and then particle system. And then you have a particle system that, like, if you saw Deek's workshop a few weeks ago, he did like a really good job in all kinds of particles. But I'm just gonna do a really simple one because we also don't have so much time today. And also Deek probably knows way better how we're gonna do. Wait. So this one needs a material because there's no material on this renderer here for the particle trail. So I'm better gonna make a material here because otherwise it's just all pink. So, I'm gonna close this because I think my computer has a bit of issues here. And I might export the avatar again, depending on the polygon count. So I think for this trail, we just don't need like anything really special, but we just need a material. So, Mhm. So here we have the trail width, and we need to make this like way smaller because otherwise like it's way too huge. And also if we turn down the particles. Dee, can you tell me where I turned down my particles?
You want to turn down the number of particles,
Yeah.
the rate,
Yeah.
emission.
Oh,
drop
there we
down.
go.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks. So I just like want 1 or 2, and then I need to go back to my particle trail and that I have here. Huh. Interesting. So now I can basically go to where I want to position that. So if I want to put that on my hand over here, then I basically just go, this is like the middle finger, and I drop this in here, and then I go and 0 it over here. And then it's basically attached to exactly where my hand is. So my shape of this particle system is really weird. mm, I think something like this might be better. And then we also want to set that to world space. That's really important because otherwise they're just gonna be stuck on us if they're set to local space. If I would find that now. Can you quickly tell me where world space is on those particles? Oh, here we go. Scaling.
You want to change simulation space beneath gravity modifier.
Where is it?
At the top,
Close to the
about
top.
8 or 9 from the top.
Thank you. Exactly that. There you go. Yeah, and now we actually just want to duplicate that one and put it into the right hand. And we're going to do the same thing. Put that in
What are you actually duplicating? What are you copying?
the particle system.
But where are you copying it from?
From this particle system, I just copied it. I
Literally from the
duplicated-
animation, though.
Yeah, so I just duplicated the particle system itself. Like, so I made the
Mhm.
particle system, I dropped it in the hand, and now I just duplicated it. And I put it in the other hand. And I'm just gonna zero it here again, and so it's like on the other hand. So that's also a really fast way to just attach things to your hand. And now if you move that avatar around, it should ding should actually follow that. Okay, why that doesn't work right now.
Play the sim, it will work.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah. So I'm gonna play it. Yeah, there we go. So she's now like making these stripes wherever she goes. Okay. So let's see if I can actually build this. Where did I put that control panel? There we go. So it's actually a humanoid rig already. So it's a bit of a weird thing. Oh, this one. Maybe it needs that. I'm not really sure, actually. I don't think so. Just gonna try build it.
Budget.
Oh, it's actually gone now. Maybe sometimes Unity is just a bit confused.
He's always confused.
Yeah. I'm actually way faster than I thought I would be. So we can name this MVC. I can't even type. Why is that? And so you need to take that you have the right to upload this, and in case there's any nudity or other not safe for work, you can check that. And this is my picture. It actually looks good enough. So with the pumpkin avatar tools, apparently you can make really good other screenshots and stuff like that. I just really make things fast because I want to see how they look like and so on. I don't make things so very pretty, I think. So yeah. And VRChat is amazing for really fast iterations. Like we can try upload that avatar also again if we're gonna go in now and see how it looks like. Or if it even
Can I
works.
ask, what happens if you tick the nudity, etc.? Does it just put extra filters on? I'm not sure how it works with VRC. Does it just hide it unless you're in certain private worlds or what?
Good question.
Mhm.
I've never done it. Maybe I should make my penis avatar thing.
Ask on the Pyomi Discord. They've got a whole
Yes.
thread.
That's
on
true.
please.
That's the place. That's the place.
So I can actually just start your chat.
Can you show us some amplify on that model, Ruth?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But here you can also see like, oh no, my controller was off. Probably VRChat is gonna hate me for that. Yeah. I only have one arm. Oh no. I have. Yeah. Yeah, exactly that. What I just did now is, I don't know if you hear my audio.
Probably.
Oh, I can switch it off. Can you hear the?
No, there's no. It's just your voice.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
La la la. Okay, so and you can't see the trails in the mirror, but you can see them here. I'm shooting them out actually. Pew 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 pew. Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. So she totally works. I don't have full body tracking on, but so far, yeah, I think definitely cool traces. Okay, so now we're gonna look at some textures. That's actually a separate workshop from Tyson. I think you can just make like separate ones if you want to make a performance with or without, then you can just switch avatars. It's also a beginner's workshop, so I mean, okay. I mean, I can walk you through how Tyson helped me to set it up in my other avatar, but I think it's just he's just way better at that, and he should just do that probably next week.
Yeah, I think we can do a whole nother workshop on like the toggling system and all of that. It's a whole nother beast on its own.
It'd be quite nice to actually ask what people want to see after this, because I was gonna propose something, but I'm not sure it's actually the appropriate one. I was gonna show how to do a title with text and particles. It's actually maybe way too specific. So if it's something I'm competent at, I'd be very happy to do so. Whatever group vote of what people would have the most questions about. If it's something I can help with.
Octopus avatar session.
Octopus avatars, he's actually not that complicated. He's got some, I mean, there's some interesting shaders with him, but the one thing I was going to propose is if people want to see how I use the node-based shader that Root's mentioning here, the Amplify shader editor, to set up either the replication of just the basic standard shader in Unity to see if you want to replicate it, or maybe a breakdown of maybe one of the crystals from Mycelia or something with the audio reactive shaders I made. The alternative is that sort of mycelia title effect, which is a combination of world triggers, particle stuff, and anyway. But anyway, let's chat about it another time.
Yeah, no, I think the particle switch on, switch off toggle system, maybe also rigging like outside of Mixamo, like what you were talking about before. That would be something that would definitely be interesting for me as well. Yeah. So, I would just like make this shader for dress. And so the dress is basically my layer 2. And so what I now have is just, I basically like just took a texture and dropped it on the simple noise shader. So it's basically just distorting the texture a little bit here.
So is that noise? So is that noise shader a default?
Yeah, that's one of the examples. So when I just went in here to the dress, I just went to the amplified shader, sample shader section, and took the simple noise shader just to be like, oh, okay, so this is like how this kind of shader usually looks like, and then what you can potentially like do with it. And I would really recommend everyone to get amplified shader because it's so much fun to play around with. It's node based, so it's like really easy, and you can just yeah, you can just like as you see here, like there's a lot of things that you can just take and do really easy things, like you can just start with like a float and have a float there, and so then you have like metallic on the dress that you can pull up, and then you click up here this thing, and then you can see oh, I'm actually saving this on top of the standard shader, I'm just noticing. So I'm just actually manipulating the sample noise shader from where it should be, but that's fine for now.
Just one.
Yeah. So yeah, so this is basically like a real playground, and you can do so many things. So what I really like to do in some of my dresses, and which then also like goes together a bit with environment and dress interaction, is vertex offset. I did that a lot with just the amplified shader input, so that you basically have that link to amplify. But you can also link that to any other like kind of curve, like to a sinus curve or to any other thing that you actually like to do. I'm actually just right now, as I was definitely not prepared for this. Let's see what that is. So there's actually some stuff coming out, and I'm not sure if this is anything that makes sense. It doesn't make any sense. So that's just like offsetting it to like some really annoying position. But what you can actually build in there is you can, let's see what's coming out here. You can build like different kind of how do you say that? You can build like looping motions that just go like through a kind of loop, and therefore like impact that whole thing. It's also a funny thing that I can't think when I know that people are watching me. So I can actually only walk you through the things I did prepare, but I can actually, if you're really interested in all of that kind of stuff, I can do a separate workshop on like where I'm prepared to do amplify. Because like I'm just a bit also not sure what I should do with this right now, because I could really get into this, but this takes me a while, and I kind of need to be in the flow for just like doing some cool movement with that dress. And I think it might not look cool if I'm just gonna go really fast over this. So we have some particles. We still don't have skin color. But I could see what I have from my last exports if I want. So as you saw before, like I exported quite a bunch of stuff from Mixamo. And I can actually drag that in here. I also have eyes. this was my dress. And I can see if that fits on her. No, it doesn't. Or it does, but it's like really ripped. So that oh, it actually isn't. Huh. Oh, it is from far. Well, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's gonna come out ripped in VRChat because Mixamo actually does that with texture. So if you come close here, it doesn't look like it, but from here it looks like it, and probably in VRChat it will look like it. But we can just try this out. I think so. So you can either drop the textures just like right on the parts of the avatar where you want them to be, or here in the hierarchy, like however they're named, you can drop them. Okay, cool. So now we can just tear again, and this can be auto fixed. And this looks good. Let's see if she's gonna come out okay inside VRChat. All right. My controller is up again. And sometimes actually this is not really updating like it should. Oh. It's probably just not. Oopsie. Well, she should actually be here, but she's not. Did anyone ever have that?
I sometimes have to change to a separate avatar.
Yeah, that's what I just did.
Oh, sorry, I went to go get a beer. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I'm just changing in and out of avatars, but she's not changing on the image. Oh, there she is. Yeah, she's a bit. Oh, also only from far. When you close to her, she's actually not ripped. But from a bit further, she is. Yeah, so that's not that great. But it's also not too bad. So yeah, I think she has a kind of interesting dress. Yeah, is there anything else you're interested? Are there any questions or anything like that? I think this is like kind of the basics. And if you want to go even more basic and you don't want to go humanoid, you could just think of also this particle system as you have it right now and just put the avatar descriptor on there. And you also have an avatar, like a particle avatar. Face has some really cool particle avatars. So He can probably show you some at the meetup, which is gonna be in 10 minutes. 9 minutes. So if there's like no more questions or anything, I would say we can also just take a 5 minutes break and be on time at the meetup.
I just want to say thank you very much. I got in here a bit,
Yeah,
but thank
super
you.
cool. Super cool.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
Thank you very
as
much.
you see, it's really fast and it's really easy if you do it like this. And apparently it's even faster with the pumpkin tool. So yeah, I think this was a really good start. And then you can go into all these tools and explore further. But I guess everyone that hasn't done an avatar yet could basically do it with these tools.
That'll be me then.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess I will test as well in the next days.
Yeah, so it's really easy. If you come across any hurdles, let me know. But I think really like these tools with Fuse and then import it to, for example, Oculus Medium, and then export it from there, put it in Mixamo, and then put it from there in Unity, and just add a couple of textures and particles or whatever you like, and build it. So yeah, it actually. Yeah, it's actually, it has always been free, this Adobe Fuse, but it is actually not supported anymore. So I'm not sure how long it will actually be supported here, but yeah, this was the only place I could find it still. I just found it recently again, and you can do like all kinds of shapes of characters with it. It's really cool. It has like, yeah, and you can really manipulate them in like all kinds of ways. The only thing is the integration with Mixamo is cut, so you can't upload it anymore right away to auto-rig it. And you get that error in the beginning, but otherwise it works.
So from Fuse to Adobe, to Oculus Medium, and
Yeah.
then to Mixamo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I just did. Like I made this
Mhm.
base model, like this kind of like skin colored one. I made this in Adobe Fuse and exported it and then imported it into Mixamo and then made this dress and then put her into Unity, and there I made the particles on her hands and this one texture, which is like one of the amplify shaders. And yeah, and I just actually adjusted her viewing position in here and that's it.
Sarah, you have not experimented with an body scan or something like this, that you somehow not getting the body from a software, that you use actually a body scan, photogrammetry or volumetric or whatever. You haven't.
I didn't.
Uh-huh.
Mm. It's pretty expensive also. It's
Yeah,
like
in general,
10, 15K or something.
the scan or the
Yeah.
volumetric, as I have this stuff, I could do it at home. So
Oh wow.
Okay. Well, I'm in Copenhagen at the moment, so probably a bit far away. But cool, yeah, I definitely keep it in mind. That sounds amazing. That you try.
yeah, this is my goal. Like I would like, as I'm experimenting with all this volumetric and photogrammetry stuff, I was like, maybe I can even use this kind of approach for the avatar. Would be interesting, and I would be interested in super messy results, even into point cloud results, like having an invisible avatar what is rigged, who's carrying a point cloud as a dress or whatever, plus then the scan.
Oh wow.
Sounds cool.
So you'd have the item of clothing without the body inside it.
Yeah, that's, as I learned, I can't rig the point cloud because the point only things can be rigged. That's what I know to now when they have a mesh. So I thought, but they are in.
I'd be able to simulate it with by writing the point positions and doing a shader, which carries those point positions and deforms it in relation to the mesh. I know that Finn's recently has he previewed. He's a big world builder. He's got one at the moment which has this giant whale swimming around the world space. I was thinking about how he did it, and I'm pretty sure he's simulating the point cloud with a shader.
Wow, okay. But then you have to be able of shader writing what I'm not able.
No, it's just shifted the technical thing. One thing I want to ask, I'm not an expert in it, but have you used MeshLab before?
Yes, I have. I have MeshLab and Cloud Compare and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no problem. I'll have a look. There was a person at the VR Extended who had a shader which is available for free. I've forgotten off the top of my head her name, but I can find it. She has an example shader which does exactly that. Her whole technique is loading meshes as a set of points into the shader and then displaying them. The question is then how do you deform those, the shader by the mesh? But there might be a way. I'll do some reading to see if I can give you a useful suggestion.
Oh, cool. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And a few at the meetup.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. I hope to see your avatars soon.
That was
And-
amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really amazing. Thank you. I'll see you guys in there.
I'm looking forward to Tyson's in-depth. Next
Will we
question.
start in a quest-friendly world or because today my
we'll
PC is
start-
occupied by my wife,
Yeah,
so I
we
have
can
to be somehow.
We can
on
go to the
Quest.
club again in Quest. I think
Oh,
there's
thank you, guys.
A
Thank
few
you.
others Quest. Hey, say how's it to Lawless before we leave him at the playground?